Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode on the Minecraft world. Yep, we are back once again, and I'm just going over here. Oh, I see some path blocks. It looks like there might be a village over here. Yep, a nice spruce village. I really like these villages. Tiger villages are cool. This is totally off topic and not how I wanted to start the episode at all, but I don't know, it's kind of cool. I like these. They have campfires in them. This one's a little bit in the ground, which is a bit strange. Are there villages in here? There has to be, right? Whoa, 3 diamonds. I will gladly take those, jeez. Yeah, anyway, sorry about that. Welcome back to the Minecraft world. In the previous episode, we went ahead and built this squid farm here. If you didn't see that one, it was a pretty good episode. I was pretty proud of how it turned out. And yeah, this squid farm works incredibly well. So let's just head down here. This is where the temporary entrance is at the moment. I do want to improve this in the future, but if we head down here, you can see I've got all the ink sacks from all the chests. There's probably a few more. Yeah, there's a bunch more. But yeah, this is basically all the ink sacks we have at the moment, which is incredible. So many. So we can make so many black dyed things, I guess, just in general. I forgot I haven't deposited these off yet. Right, anyway, so what I want to do in today's episode is basically the main thing of this project here, and that is the flower forest flower farm. So yeah, I want to make a bunch of flower farms in the flower forest. There'll be 4 to be exact. I need to get the book to see which colors they are. Alright, so each of the flower forest flower farms that I'm going to make one for light grey dye, one for orange dye, one for blue dye, and one for white as well. So white, light green, orange, and blue. They are the 4 colors I'm going to make regular flower farms for, because everything else we can basically get from other sources, or flowers don't actually produce that color, unfortunately. So I've actually gone ahead and written down a list of all of the different dyes and all of the different ways I'm going to get those dyes. So each dye is going to have one farm specifically dedicated for it, and there's quite a big variety of farms, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a few farms we're going to need to make for this, but today I want to focus on the single high flower farms, and that is going to be over in the flower forest up here. So the way we're going to do this is going to be pretty interesting, because I think we could make a separate flower farm for each flower. Let me explain. Yeah, so in flower forests, you have what are called flower patterns, and that basically means that when you bone meal the ground, the same flower is always going to appear in the same spot. So say I bone meal the ground right here, and an orange tulip goes here. If I destroy this and then bone meal this again, no other flower can spawn there other than an orange tulip. So basically that means we can make different farms specific for different flowers if we just shape it to where the flower pattern goes. So basically what I gotta do now is I gotta figure out some of the flower patterns for this area. Now I'm not gonna be doing that in survival. That would take way too long and take way too much bone meal. I'm going to create a separate world with the same seed, and I'm going to go ahead and work out where the flower patterns are for each of the things. Alright, so I just decided to make a straight copy of the world, just so that I can, not worry about stuff changing with the seed, because if you don't know, I actually generated this world in 1.14, and I don't know if these chunks were generated in 1.14 or not, probably not, but just to be safe, I decided to make a copy of the world, just in case things have changed, and I don't want, the farms to change all too much. Okay, so there's a few different flowers we're going to want to farm here. First of all are these 3, and these are all flowers that produce light grey dye, despite this middle one being called a white tulip for some reason. Yeah, so that is the deal with that, and then we also want to farm this one, which will give us white dye, which is the lily of the valley here, and we have the orange tulip. Jeez, I really am not good with these words. The orange tulip here, this is going to give us orange dye, of course, and then the cornflower gives us blue dye, just like that. So yeah, these are the flowers we are going to want to farm here today. And so I guess what the next step is I'm going to want to find where I actually want to build these farms. So ideally they'd be in this type of area and maybe a little bit closer to the ground. So maybe about here. And plus we can always change what level the ground is at anyway. So I think I want to do the ground at about this level for now. And I'm just going to build up a bit of a platform and stuff like that. And I'll be back with you once I've worked a few things out here. Alright, so I've got this command block down here, which basically fills everything above this layer and destroys all grass. So other flowers should stay, it'll just destroy grass. And basically what that means is I can bone meal and not have to worry about grass, except this tall grass is a bit of an issue. Let's create another one for that. There we go, now it gets rid of tall grass as well. So now I can just go around and bone meal this area and not have to worry about that too much. And already looks like we've struck a bit of a jackpot. We have cornflowers along here, we have lily of the valley, which is exactly what we need, and oxeye daisies as well. Perfect. So I'm just going to keep bone mealing this thing until we get the full flower pattern here. And hopefully it shouldn't take too long. And I'll just keep expanding this grass platform out until we get what we want, I guess. Alright, so I think this might cover everything, every type of flower that we need, really. So we have the lily of the valley in the middle here, which produces white. We have the cornflowers and a ring around it, which we could probably take a segment out of here, right? And create that into a farm. So we've got the blue dye there. We have the grey dye with these oxeye daisies. We could probably create a farm somewhere with these, maybe in this corner up here. And then we have the orange flowers as well, the orange tulips. So that is all of the dye we need. Literally 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Perfect. There's even white tulips here as well, so we could probably create a farm around that. And there's even azure bluettes over here as well, which is perfect, really. So yeah, we can create quite a few farms from these, I think. So now I guess I'm gonna start roughly outlining where I want to build these farms. So obviously they're not going to be perfect. Ideally they would be perfectly square, but that is probably not going to happen here. So I might actually just make like the first corner of this one in here, just so we can have room for the blue one right here as well. So some of them are going to be right next to each other, but that should be fine. That should be perfectly reasonable, and yeah, so I'm going to start planning out where some of these are going to go, and I just want to point out how cool this looks. I mean, this is such a cool pattern. I'd imagine covering the whole flower forest, it would look amazing, but I don't really have the time to do that right now, and this covers everything we need, so yeah, anyway. I'm going to start planning out where some of these farms are going to go, and I'll be back with you then. Alright, and there we go. So I have a few specialized farms mapped out. I ended up mapping out a couple for the orange ones because there weren't really that much space for the orange flower farm. So I ended up, expanding that out. I don't actually need that, do I? But yeah, so as you can see, we have a few. I marked out with stone where the other flowers are, so we don't actually get other flowers. And I figured this would work pretty well because we can have pretty specific control over which flowers we actually get. So if we want to grow one particular type of flower, I can flick that lever and it grows more. Or maybe we can have even like an automatic type thing where, you know, if you take items out of a chest, it'll start generating more. I think that could be quite cool, but yeah, anyway. This, I think, is where all the farms are going to go, and from there it should be pretty simple. I mean, the farm designs are literally just going to be, you know, pistons pushing the floor back and forth, a couple bone meal dispensers in each farm, and minecart hoppers going below. Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. Although that being said, if we have a dispenser from the bottom, the minecart won't actually be able to run through that dispenser, obviously. Can we do it on the top like this? It's just a bit of a test. If I put bone meal in a dispenser like this, will this actually bone meal? No, it doesn't. So does it actually have to be attached to the block like that? Yes, it does. Okay. Alright, so my thought process with this was extremely messy, so I'm just going to go ahead and summarize it real quick. So I figured having the dispensers on the side of the platforms could be pretty good, and I went ahead and planned all that out, but it turns out most of the platforms would require more than one dispenser, so that would be 2 dispensers, and it would be a little bit messy, and I didn't really want to do that particularly. And then I had a thought of using water streams to push the items off the edge into a collection system. And because of that, I could put the dispensers underneath, and so I actually worked out where all the dispensers would go, and you only needed 1 per thing. There were a couple blocks missing, but overall it was pretty worth it to just have 1 dispenser per farm. Plus it would make the redstone a little bit easier, and we wouldn't have to worry about minecarts. I mean, we already have them in the squid farm, so I figured it would probably be a little bit better if we didn't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. And so now we are here. Okay, so here we go. The floor gets shifted back and forth, as you can see here. So that pushes that across, that pushes that back, and then it'll bone meal again, and, you know, etc, etc. It'll get pushed back and forth, and this will happen all really quickly. And the bone mealing will be done by a dispenser underneath automatically, obviously. So yeah, that'll all be bone mealed, and then we'll have a water stream that comes out, pushes all the items off the edge, and then they can go into like hoppers and stuff. So I think that's a general idea of what I want to do here. I'm going to use glass panes on the side, I think, because that's probably the easiest way I can think of to do it. And we can just work on other, you know, water collection systems and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I want the water flushing thing to be somewhat regular, but not too regular, because, you know, otherwise the farm will decrease in efficiency a lot the more it does it. But the less it does it, items might start to despawn and all that kind of stuff. So It's a little bit worrying, but it's alright. And I of course use fence gates here, open fence gates, so that while this is here, otherwise it'd have to be pistons like that. And obviously items would not be able to get flushed off there, so that's why I went with these fence gates like so. So yeah, now we just need to apply that to this and actually do all the final redstone. But doing the final redstone shouldn't be too hard. I think I'm just going to do that in the survival world here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to map out where all of these are actually going to go, and I guess just start building them. Of course, I'm just going to map out where the farms are going to go first though. Alright, so we are back into the survival world, and I've got all of the platforms in place here. Now, unfortunately my shovel doesn't have silk touch on it, and I don't have any grass over here, and I figured I didn't want to go all the way back just to get grass, so I ended up just mining a few blocks of grass with my pickaxe here, and which is a really weird thing. It's something that used to be a thing back in, like, you know, version 1.0 when silk touch was really hard to come by and enchants in general were really hard to come by. So you'd enchant a pickaxe and then just mine grass blocks with your pickaxe. So I haven't done that for a very, very long time, but yeah, as you can see, we've got a few grass blocks and they seem to be spreading pretty slowly, but they are spreading slowly but surely across here. So yeah, as you can see, we have a lot of these platforms in place here, or yeah, all of them. What am I saying? There's still plenty of room over here in this flower forest, and man, this area looks amazing. I really want to build something in here now. Wow, could you imagine just have like a tower up the middle? I'm doing that at some point, and you cannot stop me. Anyway, so that is all the platforms in place. So what I want to do next, I guess, is start to put in some of the redstone bits. So yeah, we're going to have to put in some of the pistons and, you know, adjust some of the timings for all that kind of stuff. But I think the first thing is we probably want to do the bone meal dispensers, but for that we need to have a setup to actually distribute bone meals to the dispensers. So the idea I came up with for the bone meal things is we have one giant bone meal reservoir. So one area, maybe it'll be over in this section here, that'll just be completely filled with chests. It's going to have so many chests completely full of bone meal. I might even do shulkers, but probably not. I don't really like using shulkers for that stuff because then you have to gather them. Although that being said, 1.17 shulker farms are going to be amazing, so I don't know, maybe we could use a shulker system. I don't know, anyway, the point is we are going to have a massive storage area completely filled with bone meal. Tons and tons of bone meal, stacks upon stacks upon stacks of the stuff stored in one central location. And then each farm will have a comparator going out to it saying, oh, I need bone meal, or nope, I don't need bone meal. And it'll basically send out the bone meal to each of the different farms and evenly distribute it. I think that could be a really, really cool system and hopefully not too difficult to build. I don't know. I don't really want to do that yet in today's episode though, so I might just go ahead and just manually fill up each of the dispensers. Yeah, I know. I'm just getting all the base farms done, all the manual farms done, so we can, you know, just produce all the dyes that we need to actually build some of the decorative stuff around this, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of the things that we want to build in terms of the storage and stuff will depend around the decorative stuff we want to do, which obviously requires dyes. So I'm not going to do the bone meal thing just yet, but that's basically my idea for that. I think that could be really cool. So yeah, I think first things first, I'm going to put all the dispensers in place, and for that I actually need dispensers. I think we have, I'll have to grab the redstone shulker from back at the base, or back at the sorting system, because I'm pretty sure we have a lot of dispensers back there. I remember crafting a bunch, and then realizing, oh wait, I don't actually need all these yet. So yeah, that was kind of annoying. I think. I don't fully remember the context behind it, but yeah, that's the basic gist of it. So yeah, I'm going to head back, I'm going to grab my redstone shulker and start work on putting in all the dispensers for the redstone bits for the flower farms. What am I saying? Anyway, I'm going to get the dispensers for the flower farms. I'll be back with you. What on earth are you doing here, Mr. Cow? Yeah, I don't know what the deal with this guy is, but oh well. He's alright. He can live here. Anyway, so I'm back. I've got my redstone shulker here, as you can see, and as I guessed right, yep, we have a bunch of dispensers in there. I also stocked up on some more repeaters, and I got a bunch more pistons in my inventory as well, because we're definitely going to need those. I also got a shulker full of bone blocks, and a spare shulker here just in case. So yeah, we got tons of bone blocks there, which is really, really awesome. That should be way more than enough for the bone meal we need. So I made this separate chest as well for other project stuff, but I think for the time being, we're just going to build the redstone out of classic stone brick. you know, and that's what I always make my redstone out of. So yeah, stone brick is what it's going to be. Now, I think I'm going to, I said I was going to do the dispensers first, but I think I might do the pistons first. I think that might be a little bit easier. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the pistons first. Oh, you know what I forgot? Fence gates, give me a second. All right, 37 should be enough for now. All right, so now let's start work on actually building some of these farms. And what I want to do while I'm building these is I want to tell you, I guess, a bit of a story. And that story is going to be of basically the best human to ever live. Yeah, so basically I was at Bunnings, which is, you know, an Australian store. Basically, yeah, Bunnings hardware store. It's a pretty big hardware store. I was getting some stuff for a school project, and it's kind of a thing. If you don't live in Australia, you might not know. It's kind of a thing where they sell sausage sandwiches, right? And it's basically the law that if it's around lunchtime, you kind of have to buy one, right? They're just so good, you got to do it. So, you know, it was around 11:30, not quite lunchtime yet, but I had to get one. I didn't really have a choice in the matter. So yeah, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to get one. And so while I was in the line, I had a little bit of a thought, a little bit of a panic moment where I was like, uh-oh, I hope they accept card. I don't know if I have any cash on me. And I looked at the front and saw, yep, FPOS accepted. All right, cool. They do cash. They do card, I mean. So yeah, they do card. Awesome. I'll be able to pay with card. Don't have to worry about cash. Great. And so I get to the front of the line and I order, you know, just one sausage sandwich. And as I go to pay, I pull out my card and the dude there goes, oh, sorry, we don't accept card. And then so I look down at my wallet once again and then check if I have any cash, and there is absolutely no cash in my wallet whatsoever. I had already ordered what I wanted to order, but I had no cash to pay for it. And so I look up from my wallet and I say, oh, sorry, I don't have any cash. And then the dude just kind of looks at me for a second, and without even skipping a beat, at all, the dude behind me, the absolute legend, the best human to ever live, as I described him earlier in the story, without skipping a beat, he says, I'll buy you one, and proceeds to walk in front of me and says, I'll get another 2, thanks. And I was lost for words. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to thank him. I was incredibly grateful. Ordered me a sausage sandwich, but it was more than just ordering a sausage sandwich. He got me out of an incredibly awkward situation, an incredibly horrible social situation, and for that, I cannot thank him enough. And so I think it was safe to say that that guy is probably the best person to ever live. He was wearing a cap, and that's about all I remember about him. Even that's not certain. I'm not 100% sure whether he actually was or not, but I'm pretty sure he was wearing a cap. That's my story time for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed that. I normally don't have too much interesting to say in terms of stories, but this time I actually had something interesting that I thought I'd share with you guys. But yeah, anyway, so now we have a lot of the base redstone in place, as you can see. So we got all the pistons. I forgot that pistons now mine quicker with a pickaxe. That's been in the game for a long time. I don't know why I just realized that. But yeah, as you can see, they're actually perfectly in line. I didn't even try to do this. It's actually really incredible how that worked out. But yeah, these are all perfectly in line, 1 block space apart. And they've got a little bit of a chaotic nature to them, which is perfect. That's kind of what this base is going to be going for. Or this build, this project is not really a base, to be honest. But yeah, that's kind of what this is going for. A little bit chaotic, a little bit orderly, but mostly chaotic. And I guess this kind of fits that description. So now to put the dispensers, I got to work out where I was actually going to put them. I remember this one was going to be in the center. This one was probably about here. I don't know, I'm going to have to take a quick look in the other world once again. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop all the trees under here because I feel like they're going to cause some issues, and it needs to be done. I mean, let's be honest, we need to chop down all the trees. So I'll chop down all the trees under and kind of around this area because obviously we're going to need the collection system as well. So I may as well dig up all these trees. It shouldn't take too long. Alright, now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and just dig out like 1 block below each of these, and try not to dig out too many blocks, otherwise we need to wait for the grass to grow back on those ones, but you know, it's not too big of a deal. Anyway, so we've dug out all these blocks, so now I know from underneath where I need to put the dispensers. I was about to say that's perfectly placed, but apparently not. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and place all the dispensers under here, and I guess do a bit more of the redstone, and yeah, I'll be back with you once I've done a decent amount more of this redstone here. Alright, and there we go. So this probably doesn't look too much different until I come under here. So I have all of the basic redstone bits in place. So this is basically connecting up the bone meal dispenser and the pistons and all that kind of stuff. I actually haven't tested it with the bone meal dispenser yet. I should probably do that. So let's just grab that. I'll have to empty out my inventory a little bit. I'll just temporarily throw a bunch of stuff on the floor. Yeah, I got another beehive, by the way, from chopping down one of the trees. But anyway, so if I just chuck all that in there, and we have this here. If I just flick this lever, it didn't work. Huh, okay, so unfortunately with the bone meal dispenser, it doesn't work. I'm gonna have to rethink this design a little bit. Although this is the first flower from the flower farm, I might keep this memento type thing because, you know, of course we need to have mementos. God, I cannot speak. So I'll just chuck that in there. Hopefully I remember what that is. If not, that's gonna be kind of sad. But anyway, now I gotta work out how to make the dispenser work with it. I just have a stack of slime blocks laying around. I was wondering, like, oh no, I'm running out of slime balls. What's going on here? I just have a stack of slime balls lying around. What is wrong with me? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Something along the lines of this. So I'm going to get an observer from here. I have quite a few of those, so that shouldn't be an issue. So we can adjust the timing here for each thing individually, and it's still a 1 tick pulse. So that should be able to do it a little bit faster, I think. So if I do this, and then I could probably do the other side, but set to 1 tick, right? I hope this works. So this side is set to 2 ticks, and the other side is set to 1 tick. Let's see. Okay, good news is that went across there, and the other good news is we don't actually need this to be like that. And we also can save on a repeater as well. Sweet. So although we did have to use another piston here, we could save on a repeater, which is good. So yeah, look at that. What did I get attacked by? Oh, baby zombie, get out of here. Oh, there's another one. He has a sword. Yeah, so it looks like this thing is actually working pretty well. So I think this design is actually going to work for us, which is nice. I don't think this can be set to 2 ticks, unfortunately. No. I might be able to just replace this with a dust, actually? Yes, I can. Oh, that makes this even faster. Alright, awesome. So that's just dust. That's 2 ticks. That saves on another repeater. We're down to 1 repeater for this design. And the farm is quicker. Oh, this is awesome. Anyway, so we have a working design now. Now let's just convert, I guess, this design to this design here. Alright, and there we go. So that is all of the redstone bits replaced here with the newer design. And I think all of this should be working. I haven't tested it all, but I can't really be bothered right now. So I'm not going to bother testing it all. And I don't really have time to test it all right now. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to assume that it's all working. I don't see why it wouldn't be all working, but yeah. So now what I got to do is I got to go ahead and get a bunch of stained glass to go, or stained glass panes to go around the edges. So maybe I will make sure it's working, just so I can get the stained glass to go around there. I don't know, maybe I'll just do some regular glass panes just temporarily. I'm not 100% sure yet. I think I'll do stuff temporarily for now, and then I can, you know, swap things out later and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some stained glass, or I keep saying stained glass. Put some glass panes around the edge there, and I guess prepare where I'm going to put the trapdoors to unleash the water. I might even use dispensers, but I'm not 100% sure. Probably going to use trapdoors. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let's put some stained glass around, and let's glass panes. Why do I want to say stained glass all the time? What is wrong with me? I'm going to put some glass panes around, and I'm going to go ahead and find where I'm going to put the trapdoors for each of these farms. Alright, so I've put all the glass panes around, and before I show you this, I want to warn you that, remember, this place is experimental, it's abstract, and things are going to be a little bit weird in this build in general. So without further ado, bam. Yeah, so this is what I've come up with. So I've put all the glass panes around here, and in terms of where I'm going to put the water, I discovered that very quickly that you can't really just put them in the sides because it will not reach at all. So I figured that probably the best way was to do little floating pods, kind of like this one here. So this flips open, and you can see this will cover the whole area, and it'll push all the items that fall anywhere in this area off the edge, just like so. Well, that's an issue. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that'll push all the items off the edge, and that should be pretty good. Maybe I can extend this oh no, I won't be able to extend that further down. Anyway, hopefully it shouldn't be too big of an issue. What is a little bit of an issue though, which I've just discovered, is this. Items can fall down onto this here. Now, we can technically put that going along there, but we can't put water there. Otherwise, it'll just get destroyed every time the pistons push. However, I guess what we could do is just have the water source outside of where those pistons are. Yeah, maybe that'll be workable. Workable? Doable, so that it will work. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So of course that's just using regular glass panes for now. That will use stained glass panes in the future, but for now it's only using regular. And we are very quickly going through our glass supply. We had quite a few stacks here earlier on, and now we are down to our last few stacks. But anyway, I might actually build the pipes out of stone brick because, you know, we're going to be ripping it out and replacing it with colorful stuff anyway, so I may as well just make it out of stone bricks. Yeah, okay. Anyway, are any of these more than 8 blocks wide? I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the widest one, I think, and that's 7 blocks. This one is 6. This one is also 6, and this one is 5. Yeah, okay, so it should be all good. If we just have a water source like there, and then it pushes all the way across, yeah, that shouldn't be too big of an issue. So, yeah, now I'm thinking whether I want to keep the water streams separate or combine them. I'm thinking I want to combine them, because if we try and keep it separate, it won't really work because of these overlapping areas, like especially this area here. So these items will go into the same block that these ones go into, and so that just won't really work particularly well. So we're going to have to be able to go ahead and put them together, but that's alright. That's not too big of a deal. Okay, yeah, so now I think the next step is to make all the water streams. So it might be a little bit difficult to plan it out, but I want to get them out going into one point, preferably over here somewhere. Yeah, I might try and aim for it to be in this corner here because, oh wait, no, this is the longest one. Yeah, okay, so 1, 2, 3. I am a little bit stupid. I'm really stupid, actually. So I was thinking that I could run water through fence gates. No, this isn't what they showed for like the preview for 1.13. This is actual Minecraft. I can't do that, but I have just thought of a solution, and that is to get rid of this redstone dust here and then put a block there. Yeah, that should work. So then I can use that to, okay, whew, crisis averted. I can actually do this. All right, cool, perfect. All right, so it took a while, but we have all of the water streams in place now. They're a little bit dodgy. They're very dodgy, in fact, but it does work. So there's 2 layers to this, basically. You have the top layer, which has, you know, most of the water streams. There shouldn't be any blank spots. It should all, like, go nice and neatly. Well, neatly is a bit of a subjective term, but it should go nice and neatly to these 4 little openings. There's one. The other one is over here, I do believe. Yep, there's another opening. And there's another one, like, over here. And there's another one somewhere. But yeah, anyway, I think there's 4. Are there 4? 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they go down to this bottom bit here, which basically just take them all into one little bit here. So if we drop an item anywhere up there and then flush it out, they should all go to this area here. Let's actually test it. I'm going to chuck all 15 of these stone bricks in just random spots around the place, and let's see if they all end up making their way back. I think they hopefully should. Let's see, that is 15, perfect, awesome. So yeah, as you can see, this works pretty well. All the water streams are in place, and that I think is going to be the hardest part probably. I got to work out how to do the redstone, but I think how I could do that is just by having stone run across there and then have like redstone dust on it. And if we power that block there, I think that should activate that activates the trapdoor. So yeah, we should be able to just like run redstone along there. It won't look quite as good, but I'm not really worried about the looks too much just yet. I just want to make sure this thing actually works. So we're probably going to have these on a bit of a timer here. So it kind of flips this back and forth a bunch, and then lets this out for a bit, and then retracts it, then flips it back and forth with bone mealing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're going to have to come up with some fancy redstone bits for that, but hopefully that won't be too difficult. Anyway, I'm going to start to, I guess, work on doing the redstone for that, and I'll show you how I've done that once I have actually done it. Alright, and so look at that, we have one of them done for the redstone. Yeah, only one, I know, but that's a lot better than none, and it took me a little while to work this out. I'm making use of slime blocks here to transmit redstone upwards. I use this all the time, it's great. Slime blocks are amazing. Anyway, so yeah, you can see that the redstone goes over here, and I've basically got a couple things. First of all, we have a clock up here, which I've built the clocks for all of them, don't get me wrong, so all the clocks are built. And let's go up to this one, because this one's close to the ground and easy to see. You can see it incorporates with the actual system itself, and it's nice and self-contained. And then we have a torch under here, and we just activate this block. So yeah, if we power this block, then it'll turn the clock on, and the thing will start going. Let's actually show that. So if I put a lever on here, you can see the thing starts going, and that'll start making flowers. Cool. So yeah, that's just activating that block that does that. And then in terms of the trapdoor, I had to really do some reach around redstone. I'm not the biggest fan of what I had to do here, but that's alright. So you can see, yeah, I have a slime block thing that pulls the signal up and it goes over the top, and yeah. And I have this little activation switch here. It's based off just like a hopper clock, an etho hopper clock, very simple stuff. Anyway, I also had to make sure I activate this without activating this. So I originally had dust there and a repeater there, but I switched them, and I think that's a really cool little decision. Anyway, let's put some bone meal in this dispenser here, and let's give this one a shot. Let's try it. So I'm going to flick this lever, and it should create a bunch of flowers here. Oh, it's pushing it away. Look at that, it's creating flowers just like that. It's doing it a little bit slowly. I might be able to speed it up a bit, but I'm not 100% sure. I just wanted to start with a pretty slow speed, and all the flowers get washed off, and we should see them end up over, spitting out of there on the floor. There they are. There they go. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, now this thing is producing flowers. Unfortunately, yeah, there is a period where it like doesn't do it for a second, but that's alright. Yeah, so now we're producing flowers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And we can just disable it by flicking this, and sometimes it'll do it instantly, but sometimes it'll take a while. There's also that, yeah, an item can get caught there, but it's not too big of a deal. I'm not really too worried about that. It's very rare for it to happen. But yeah, anyway, so just in that short space, we managed to get 27 cornflowers, which is awesome. And now I want to experiment with speeding up the clock. I'll try it. Oh no, I'll do it with this one. May as well. Oh, look at that. That's so much quicker. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that's as fast as I think I want to make it. Cool, so I think that's the system we're going to go with here. We should see a bunch more cornflowers down here. Yeah, look at that. We've almost got a stack, which is awesome. So yeah, we also have a bunch of seeds, but we can just chuck that into a composter to get bone meal. But for the time being, they're going on the ground, despawning. So yeah, anyway, now I just got to go ahead and do that for all of the farms. Yeah, I might have to get a few more pistons, which kind of sucks, but I have plenty of slime, which is good. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you once again once I've built all the redstone. Yes. Alright, so I've very nearly finished all the redstone here, and I figured I may as well do this last bit on camera. So I'm just constructing the last little hopper clock here. I've made quite a few of these. I thought it would be a lot more painful than it was. It's actually not that bad building all this redstone. It was quite fun actually. But anyway, let's just place in these last bits. The half stack of dirt. Uh-oh. There's the last half stack of dirt. And then all we need is a repeater. And boom, we have that done. Oh yeah, I also need to put that in there. And I also need to put the reset, or not the reset, the stopping thing that stops it from working. I heard it go once. Does this have... Oh no! Oh, of course. Of course, of course. So, the reason this one isn't working is because when the trapdoor, for all of these, when the trapdoor is closed, that means the water's off. But when the trapdoor is technically closed here, like this is in its open state. So that means that I need to go ahead and do that. And that should invert it, I think. Like that. There we go. That should invert it. Alright, awesome. So now that's working. Let's chuck that back in there. Let's chuck those back in there. Alright, awesome. So now this farm is working, and all the farms should be working. It's a bit of a weird scare there, but anyway. So now if I chuck this on here, then that means the farm should stay off like that. And the water should go away, hopefully. Yep, the water's gone. Alright, awesome. So that is the farms. That is all the farms completely done. You can see I've got the redstone running up here, and it actually looks quite cool. I was a bit worried that this wouldn't look very good, but it looks quite cool. I think in the final thing we can replace this with glass, and I'm probably going to replace a lot of this stuff with glass. As much as I can, I guess. But yeah, as you can see, there's all the items we gained from that farm, and yeah, we are done with all these farms now, which is awesome. So I think, yeah, I've already stocked this farm up. Let's go over to this one, and let's give this one a little bit of bone meal. So luckily each stack of bone blocks corresponds to a full dispenser. So we have quite a few stacks of bone blocks, so we should be able to fill up every single dispenser here, I think. So is that the one we just did? Yes. Alright, yeah, now that is all of the dispensers done. So awesome. I think, you know what we're going to have to do, right? I'm going to switch on every single farm and see them all work at the same time. Now, this one on the far end is working. This one's working now. Oh, we're about to get tons and tons of lag and really, really loud sounds. Okay. Look at this thing go. That is honestly super duper awesome. I love that so much. Alright, I'm going to have to switch all of these off. Otherwise, we're going to lag significantly. So what we can do later on is connect this up to the storage area, and what I want to do is connect each of those like redstone lines up to, yeah, the storage area. So if we're running low on a particular die or a particular flower, we can have that automatically switch on. I think that would be amazing. And look at that, already we have, you know, well over 2 stacks of light grey dye. Oh, no, that's white dye, sorry. A stack and a half of white dye, a little over a stack of light grey, almost a stack of blue, and almost a stack of orange as well. Oh, well over a stack of orange, sorry, jeez. And of course, tons and tons of seeds. We're definitely going to need a composting type thing going in there pretty soon. But yeah, anyway, that is all of the flower farms done. That's basically everything I wanted to get done for today's episode, I think. Alright, here we are. So today's comment goes to Iralian Energy. Yeah, and she says, I'm loving the music a little too much. And that was an emoji, but I copy-pasted the comment because I thought it would be funny to see what the emoji came up as, and it's just a square. But yeah, anyway, in terms of the music I use for the episodes, yeah, I personally like to use music that I actually listen to and that I actually enjoy in these videos, and obviously that runs into copyright issues, so I try and only use the ones that, you know, will avoid me copyright. Unfortunately, the one I used in the previous episode was copyrighted. I always forget to check with Creo songs, I don't know why, but yeah. Some of Creo's songs are copyrighted, some of them aren't, but yeah. Yeah, luckily quite a few of the songs that I actually do listen to are copyright free, but there's been quite a few times where I'm like, oh, I really want to use this song, and then I check the copyright and it's copyright claimed. A little bit annoying, but anyway. Yeah, so thank you for that comment. Also, you might realize I did end up extending this out a little bit more. In the previous episode, it was shown that, you know, I ran out of room here, and that is because, well, I did extend it, I actually accidentally rolled it back, and because of, you know, the way Minecraft works with the directories, because I recently changed it, it like switched it back, and I didn't realize. So yeah, I did extend that one out too, and I extended this one out 1 back here, and I think it's about time we start going on to a second floor here, I think. Maybe I want to make it 5 segments, I'm not 100% sure, and I'm thinking of maybe even having, you know, the same segment on, or, you know, more segments on the same floor here, so, you know, have them going in like that, and out, and then in, you know, that type of thing maybe. I'm not 100% sure yet, but yeah, I have a couple ideas for what I want to do for this place. All I know is that we have to come up with some form of exterior design, because if we look at this, I mean, this isn't much flash, it's just kind of, it's got a bunch of dirt there, and it's, yeah, this doesn't look very good, so I'm sure we can incorporate it into an exterior design, maybe continuing the leaves and the quartz along there, and doing some fancy stuff, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that'll come in the pretty far future. I don't want to work on building in this type of area too much just yet, because I'm working on the dye outpost, so yeah, that's kind of the main project for the moment. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to end this one off here. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribing if you enjoyed it that much. But yeah, anyway, I am going to see you in the next one. I always forget that last little bit. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.